Hello everybody, I'm Lena. I'm going to go through the translation of One Dream into the Arabic language. I'm going to focus on the bars or measures that we are specifically singing, but I will also go through the whole piece for interest. I will stop on some of the letters which don't have an English equivalent, just to try and give you some tips and tricks on how best to pronounce them, as they are rather difficult. I must admit, it's a beautiful piece and hopefully it's going to be very easy to go through the translation. I can say that I have been able to translate a Welsh piece and teach it to a group of people from around the world in Argentina who are singing a choral song, so I'm sure I can do this as well. So I think we'll take it one step at a time, and we'll start with the first, with One Dream. So with One Dream, the translation to Arabic is بحلم واحد. Take it slowly. بحلم واحد. So what's important here is the H sound in helm. Now helm means dream. Now the H sound is a sound that we don't have in the English language, and you have to make it so that it's coming from somewhere through a constricted throat, if you like, or deeper within the throat. So it's not hilm, it's hilm. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to constrict my throat to make the sound. So once again, بحلم واحد. واحد, one. It's exactly the same. The H in واحد is the same sort of H, coming through a constricted throat, and not واحد. واحد. So it's a H sound through a constricted throat. So one more time. بحلم واحد. Okay, going to the next phrase, which is with one hope. The translation to Arabic is بأمل واحد. So you'll notice amal, which is hope. There again is a very slight glottal stop when you say amal. It's not amal, it's amal. So there's a slight glottal stop just between the E and the M, amal. Try again. بأمل واحد. So it's exactly the same thing for one, واحد. You'll note the constricted throat when making the H sound. The next phrase is with one heart. So, بقلب واحد. Now heart, قلب, is a little bit difficult because the Q again is a little bit like a C in court, except you make the sound back in your throat. So it's not qalb واحد, it's qalb واحد. It's a q sound. Again, it's a consonant that we don't have in the English language. So once again, بقلب واحد. بقلب واحد. And then the final phrase in this verse is نغني بصوت واحد. And again, I'm going to focus on the GH here, which is a R, which is pronounced a little bit like how the French pronounce their R in Paris. So نغني. نغني means we sing. بصوت واحد. The T in salt, again, is a little bit of a different way of pronouncing to a normal T sound, and that there's a little bit more prominence on it. So, بصوت, ta, ta. There's a bit of a glottal stop on that as well. So once again, نغني بصوت واحد. نغني بصوت واحد. So if I actually read the whole verse again, so this is going to be measures 5 to 8, measures that the children are going to sing. It goes بحلم واحد بأمل واحد بقلب واحد نغني بصوت واحد. Once again. بحلم واحد بأمل واحد بقلب واحد نغني بصوت واحد. And at the normal speed. بحلم واحد بأمل واحد بقلب واحد نغني بصوت واحد. Okay, so I'm going to go through the rest of the song just in the interest of completeness because it will be on your score as well in the Arabic language. So the next phrase in the second verse is with one will. So with one will in Arabic is بإرادة واحدة. So بإرادة واحدة بإرادة واحدة. So all I can say about it that's slightly different is that the R in irada is a rolled R, and that's all that's different. We've already gone through wahid and wahida, so really it's just the H sound that's different, as we said before. With one mind, bi'aql wahid, bi'aql wahid, and you'll notice here the Q, which is exactly the same as the Q in qalb or heart. Again, it's that Q which is like a K sound only made in the back of the throat. بِعَقْل واحد. And then the next phrase is we stand together hand in hand, and the Arabic translation is نحن نقف معا يدا بيد. Now, just to go through that in a little bit of detail with regard to the pronunciation, نحن, so the H is the same H in helm, where you make it through a constricted throat. نقف, again the peculiar thing here is the Q, which we've already covered in qalb and aql. And we've talked about how it's like a K sound, only from the back of the throat. Ma'an is, if you like, a little glottal stop between the two A's. So it's not man, it's ma'an. Yadan biyad is pretty much exactly as how the transliteration shows it to be. So then we come to measures or bars that we are going to sing, the adults are going to sing. And what I've done in these is I've made a very, very slight change, taking away the WE at the beginning if you have already seen the original transliteration, just to make it easier and it won't change the meaning. So, we still dream, so we still dream will be ما زلنا نحلم. ما زلنا, ما زلنا, we still dream. نحلم, نحلم. Okay, we still dream. ما زلنا نحلم. The next phrase is we still hope. ما زلنا نأمل. So نأمل, there's a glottal stop after the first A. So it's not نعمل, it's نأمل, نأمل. ما زلنا نأمل. And then we still love, and that is ما زلنا, ما زلنا نحب. ما زلنا, we still, نحب, love. Now, نحب, again, the only peculiar consonant here is the H, which you've already gone through before, which is the H that you pronounce through a constricted throat. ما زلنا نحب. And then the final phrase, and the final phrase is our hearts are one. قلوبنا واحدة. So we've already said that qalb is heart, so the plural of that is qulub. So qulubina means our hearts, and it is pronounced qulubina, qulubina. Very similar to the transliteration, as you will see. except be mindful of the Q sound, which we've said before is essentially a K sound, but produced in the back of the throat. And wahida, we've already gone through the H sound, which again is through a constricted throat. So again, because these are measures or bars that we're going to sing, I will just go through them again twice. So go through them slowly. ما زلنا نحلم. ما زلنا نأمل. ما زلنا نحب. قلوبنا واحدة. So, once again, ما زلنا نحلم. ما زلنا نأمل. ما زلنا نحب. قلوبنا واحدة. And in a normal speed they would be ما زلنا نحلم. ما زلنا نأمل. ما زلنا نحب. قلوبنا واحدة. So we can now move on to the next verse. And the next verse is with one voice, and it reads بصوت واحد. بصوت واحد. بصوت واحد. So it's a bit of a heavier S than what you would normally pronounce an S to be in salt, voice. And the T again is a little bit heavier and it has a bit of a glottal stop. So بصوت, not بصوت. بصوت واحد. And then that is with one voice. Singing of one hope is غناء أمل واحد. غناء أمل واحد. So singing غناء is, again, the peculiar thing here is the G in غ. It's a little bit like نغني, which we said it's the way the Parisians pronounce their R. So غناء, and it ends with a glottal stop after the last A. غناء أمل واحد. غناء أمل واحد. And then finally, with one dream we stand. بحلم واحد نقف. بحلم. بحلم. حلم means dream, and it's that same awkward H, if you like, the one that's in the constrictive throat mechanism. واحد, again with that difficult H, and then نقف. نقف, that's the strange Q, which is again caught in the back of the throat. نقف. So just reading that verse again. بصوت واحد. غناء أمل واحد. بحلم واحد. نقف. Now, this is a slightly tricky verse. The good news is you're not going to be singing it. And it's the verse which is slightly longer. So we'll go through the first phrase, which is though terror and fear surround us. So I'm going to read it very slowly, but I won't really concentrate on the pronunciation too much. رغم الرعب والخوف الذي يحيط بنا. رغم الرعب والخوف الذي يحيط بنا. Okay, say it one more time. رغم الرعب. So again, glottal stops with these U's. والخوف الذي يحيط بنا. The next phrase is though darkness can hide our day. رغم من أن الظلام يمكن أن يخفي يومنا. رغم من أن الظلام يمكن أن يخفي يومنا. Okay? With love as our guide, we will stand side by side and help each other find the way. مع الحب كدليل لنا. So it's Lena, it's not Lena. It's مع الحب كدليل لنا, would love as our guide. سنقف جنبا إلى جنب, that means we'll stand together essentially. ونساعد بعضنا البعض في العثور على الطريق. طريق. So I'm going to go through this very, very slowly. مع الحب كدليل لنا سنقف جنبا بجنب, or sorry, جنبا إلى جنب, ونساعد بعضنا البعض في العثور على الطريق. طريق. As I said, I wouldn't worry too much about this verse because you'll see it on your score, but thankfully you're not going to be asked to have to sing it or pronounce it even, so that's fine. The rest of it we've already actually been through already, but I will read it in Arabic only, given that you are going to sing this particular verse. The adults are anyway. So, ما زلنا نحلم, ما زلنا نأمل, ما زلنا نحب, قلوبنا واحدة. So, ما زلنا نحلم, ما زلنا نأمل, ما زلنا نحب, قلوبنا واحدة. And again, we've gone through وبصوت واحد, غناء أمل واحد, بحلم واحد نقف, which we've already been through before, but as I say, fortunately, you are not going to have to sing it. So I hope this helps cover the pronunciation in as much detail as is necessary for us to be able to sing this beautiful song. I'm not actually a native Arabic speaker. I was born in London, brought up in the UK, as most of you will know, but I am of Arabic descent from my parents, and therefore I have learnt the language, but I can promise you that this is the correct pronunciation because I have already run it past my mother and she does give me the seal of approval. So thank you very much and good day to you all. Bye bye.